Hello, everyone. Welcome to Merit's 7th Annual Research Symposium Celebration event. My name is Shatara McNair, and I am Merit's Senior Class Vice President. My goal is to one day become a general physician, but from my time in Merit, I also realized I have a passion in public health policymaking for underprivileged minority communities. I'll be your host for this evening, along with my fellow scholar, Joelle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joelle Black. Hello.
Hi.
My name is Joelle Black, and I'm Merit's Junior Class Vice President. I've enjoyed being a leader and an advocate for my Merit cohort, and look forward to helping lead tonight's program. To kick off the evening, I'm excited to introduce our first scholar speaker, Claudia Pacheco. Claudia is a junior at Baltimore City College. She is one of 2 presidents of SOMOS, Students Organizing a Multicultural and Open Society, and holds the first youth chair position in Baltimore Education Coalition. Claudia is also trilingual. Please join me in welcoming Claudia to the podium.
Sorry, I'm very short. Thank you, Joelle. Hello, Merit friends and family. My name is Claudia Pacheco. Long before Merit, I have had dreams of becoming a doctor. I have vivid memories of pretending to be a doctor at a very young age. I took twigs and branches from nearby trees and offered to give vaccinations to all my family members during birthday and holiday parties. Te voy a vacunar, I would tell them, which translates to, I'm going to give you a shot. With twigs from branches, with twigs from trees as needles, I happily took leaves as my payment from patients and hoped that one day I could do this in real life. However, people told me that my dream was impossible. You are undocumented. How will you ever become a doctor? Early on, I did not understand how my citizenship status would affect my life. And I began to question whether or not if I could really accomplish my dreams. I eventually stopped playing doctor and resorted to keeping my dreams a secret. All of that changed in the 10th grade when I found about Merit. My guidance counselor told us about a life-changing medical program that targeted students with my same passion. I filled out my application as soon as I had my hands on it and prayed that they would see my potential. To my good grace and fortune, I made it to the rigorous tryout sessions called the MLC. At MLC, over 60 Merit candidates competed for just 35 spots. We participated in many activities, including healthcare ethics discussions and teamwork challenges. One stood out in particular, angry patient scenario. Candidates were asked to put on a white coat, enter a pretend hospital room, and convince a stubborn patient to get a vaccination. Smiling to myself, I knew that all that practice as a child would finally pay off. Needless to say, I passed with flying colors. I still remember getting the acceptance call from Ms. Landicho. I was at a holiday party. That was the first time I cried in public. They were going to give me a shot at making my dreams a reality. Merit, it ended up being everything I hoped for and so much more. I am part of an amazing family filled with passionate scholars who share the same goals as I do, and staff members who are willing to push us to our highest potential. This summer, I participated in a 5-week clinical internship shadowing doctors and nurses in hospitals all across Baltimore. I witnessed a family's first ultrasound of their baby. I witnessed nurses caring compassionately for sick cancer patients. And I remember Ms. Nilly, who reassured me that if I wanted something bad enough, there was always going to be a way to make that possible. Seeing these healthcare providers gave me a reason to study hard and complete the 5 hours of homework that was required during our merit internship each day. Yeah, 5 hours of homework each day. It was tough. But not everything in life is happy, is it? As passionate as I am about my career, a part of me is still sad and fearful. Several months ago, I submitted my application for DACA, hoping that it would offer me a path towards college. This month, I heard devastating news. As you may all know, new legislation was passed that may prevent many applications from going through, including mine. This news, it broke my heart. But I can tell you one thing. It did not break my spirit. As an undocumented student, I am the face of a population with limited resources and limited mobility. But I am also the face of a population with the ability to change the world. The support that I receive in merit, it helps me quiet down my fears and keeps me focused on the path that I know I can take to become the doctor I want to be. DACA or not, I am still a dreamer. And with merit, I know that I can make my medical career dreams a reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your powerful words, Claudia. 2 years ago, the Maryland State Department of Education became Merit's largest supporter through the 21st Century Community Learning Centers grant program. With support from MSDE and the other generous institutional supporters listed on the back of the program, Merit will be able to serve more scholars this year than ever before. The State Department of Education is increasing funding for out-of-school programs just like Merit at the urging of some of our elected officials in Annapolis who believe in educational equity. Tonight, we are joined by one of those elected officials, Senator Bill Ferguson. In 2010, In 2010, Senator Ferguson became the youngest state senator in Maryland's history. A lifelong Maryland resident, Bill made Baltimore City his home when he joined Teach for America in 2005 and taught history and government at Vivian T. Thomas Medical Arts Academy. After teaching, Bill worked as a community liaison for the Baltimore City Council President's Office, earned a law degree from the University of Maryland School of Law, and served as a special assistant to Dr. Andres Alonso, CEO of the Baltimore City Public Schools. Now, please join me in welcoming Senator Ferguson.
Good evening. So there is a rule in politics, and that rule is never follow Elijah Cummings. I need to add an amendment to that and never follow Claudia. I mean, who put me next and following Claudia? I mean, wow. Powerful. I mean, Claudia, that was a remarkable story. It is good evening. It truly is a pleasure to be here with you. Let's be real for a minute. How many folks, and I will raise my hand so you don't have to feel guilty, when you walked upstairs and started walking through the posters, started trying to read the titles and thought, oh my Lord, what is this a different language? Because let me tell you, that was my reaction. I had and it is case in point to the talent of the young people of this city. It is proof of what is possible. Yeah, I had the honor of teaching at Vivian T. Thomas, and the experience changed my life. I taught U.S. history and U.S. government. Science was not my thing. What I saw day in and day out were young people who were coming to school every day, doing everything we told them to do to maximize their potential, and unfortunately, the system wasn't providing them enough. Over and over and over again. I ran for office because change is possible. And there are opportunities to make programs like this, to give the talented young people in this room the opportunities that they deserve. I have a few messages tonight, but this is the one that I hope that you take away. When we truly believe, truly in our hearts believe that all children, no matter their circumstance, can be successful, and we truly invest in them, anything is possible. Right now, unfortunately, we're not doing that. Programs like Merit have to struggle every single year to raise money to operate. To me, this is unconscionable. It shouldn't take begging a foundation, asking for a grant, hoping for a donation here or there to do what we know is right for kids and young people across the city. Right now, in this moment in Maryland, we're at a historic opportunity. We are, for the first time in 15 years, reevaluating how we fund our public schools across the state. There's a little thing called the Thornton formula. I won't get into the nitty-gritty details. That was passed 15 years ago. We're now reviewing and about to reauthorize that formula. There's a commission called the Kirwan Commission that's going to make recommendations to folks like me and my colleagues for how we spend the billions of dollars that we spend on public education. The absolute critical component is that we must set a vision for this state where programs like Merit don't have to beg and scramble for funding, but that they are funded regularly every year as part of a regular educational program. If you came out tonight and were as impressed as I am of these amazing and talented and remarkable young people, I urge you to check out an initiative called Strong Schools Maryland. Tonight, there's a hearing so that folks like you can give your testimony as to the beliefs of the power of young people that exist in this room and across the city. There will be one in 2 weeks, another hearing in Baltimore City at Poly on October 14th. Be inspired tonight and take that inspiration and ensure that the young people that follow those here have this same opportunity, not by chance, but by practice, because that's what we believe all kids deserve. I just want to end by saying congratulations and good luck. You all are the generation that gives me hope that Maryland is a place where everyone has the capacity to thrive if we give them the support and the resources they need to be successful. We will do that with your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ferguson, for speaking with us tonight and everything you're doing to support Baltimore City students. I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge tonight's generous event donors, the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and Cram and Graham. Your support was crucial to making tonight a success. The Johns Hopkins Bayview Internal Medicine residents support Merit in many ways, from serving as preceptors over the summer to working longitudinally as mentors. Our next speaker, Dr. Erica Johnson, is the program director of the Internal Medicine Residency at Bayview. Dr. Johnson is also an assistant professor of medicine in the Division of Infectious Diseases at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. She's been recognized with numerous research and teaching and community service awards, the Women of Color in STEM Conference Rising Star Award in 2012. But before all of that, she's a proud graduate of Western High School, like many of our scholars. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Erica Johnson.
Thank you. So I always knew that I wanted to be a doctor, and the way this story in my family goes, I started saying this when I was 5 years old and just never stopped. And I'll tell you that growing up in West Baltimore in the 1980s and the 1990s, I had plenty of support from my family and my friends and my school community. Many people were cheering me on I had, a lot of the things that I thought I needed to be successful. And I knew that the path to medicine was going to be a hard one, but I was willing to put in the hard work. But what was not apparent to me at the time was the actual roadmap to success. And how specifically does someone like me become a doctor? And if it was so possible for someone like me to become a doctor, why weren't there more doctors that looked like me? So I'm here to tell you that I made the right choice as a 5-year-old. So one of the best decisions that I made was my career in medicine. And one of the things specifically that I do is I study HIV. And as you know, HIV disproportionately affects communities of color, as is the case, honestly, for many chronic conditions. People in communities of color experience far worse outcomes for many diseases, such as HIV. And there's been evidence to show that in addition to addressing the social determinants of health, one of the ways to address these healthcare disparities is actually an increasingly diverse healthcare workforce. We all benefit from diversity in many different ways. Teams function better, teams that are more diverse function more effectively. Experiences, I think, are enriched by increasingly diverse persons and increasingly diverse conversations. But the fact is that diversity in medicine may actually be the best way to reduce disparities in health. And this is one of the many reasons that I love the Merit program, because not only does it provide the actual roadmap to success for underrepresented minority high schools from schools here in Baltimore City, which I was missing in the 1990s, but at the core of its mission is to turn underrepresented minority high school students into the future leaders that are going to do the science to eliminate healthcare disparities that affect communities of color in Baltimore City and beyond. And so it's my great pleasure tonight to introduce Ms. Amaya Simpson, a senior merit scholar who attends my alma mater, Western High School. Outside of merit, Amaya is president of Western High School's National Honor Society, and she's captain of the ethics team. She's also an environmental health activist, and she conducts synthetic biology research at the Baltimore Underground Science Space, exploring the role that bacteria can play in the degradation of plastic. She's a fellow in the Johns Hopkins Brancati Center for Community Care Fellowship Program, and she will lead a church-wide community garden initiative this year. She is clearly passionate about conducting scientific research, and she plans to obtain her PhD. And so please join me in welcoming my fellow Western Dove, Ms. Amaya Simpson.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. As a Baltimore City graduate, you are such an inspiration to all of the Merit Scholars, especially those of us from Western. Hello, Merit friends and family. My name is Amaya Simpson, and I am a senior at Western High School. I joined Merit 2 years ago as a shy girl who loved science. Those who knew me growing up would not believe that I'm standing in front of you today. Before joining Merit, I was incredibly shy. I rarely raised my hand to answer questions in class and even struggled to confidently say my sandwich order in line at Subway. I knew all the answers in my classes, and I certainly knew my sandwich order, but I was deathly afraid of speaking up. I feared I'd make a mistake, say something inaccurate, or otherwise embarrass myself. Throughout the past few years with Merit, I have found my voice. I presented at 4 research symposiums, which at first felt daunting but are now exciting. I've shadowed busy doctors and found confidence in asking questions based on the science concept I've learned in Merit. And I have a mentor, Chase, who always encourages me to speak up in school, Merit, and in my community. Despite my growth, all the nervousness and anxiety crept back up before starting my research internship this summer. I felt that I was not prepared to speak up in a lab full of PhD students and postdocs. Needless to say, I did not get much sleep that late Sunday night in June. Monday morning came, and I showed up to Dr. Benho Park's breast cancer research lab and met my lab mentor, Ian Waters. Every day, Ian looked at me and asked, "Are you ready?" Trying to hide my fear, I hesitantly smiled and said, "I think so." To my surprise, the Merit Lab Skills Bootcamp prepared me to contribute immediately. We were able to clone cells in a culture, follow protocols given to me, and discuss my findings with the lab team. As the internship weeks progressed, Ian would still start every day by asking, "Are you ready?" My responses became increasingly more confident. By the end of the summer, we worked to create and validate a dual plasmid system to label and selectively kill cancer cells in a co-culture, which I proudly presented at the Johns Hopkins Care Symposium. Throughout this experience, I discovered a deep passion and interest in conducting scientific research as a career. I loved every minute of working in the lab, using my hands and following the protocols given to me. It gave me the space to work independently, but also gave me an opportunity to work outside of my comfort zones and collaborate with the team. Knowing that I get to put on my white lab coat and do hands-on work that I absolutely loved made taking the bus at 6 a.m. every day this summer worth it. Most importantly, it taught me to embrace, not fear, mistakes. My biggest mistakes became my biggest lessons, and I learned that failure is indeed a portal for making new discoveries. Because of my experience in the lab this summer, I see a clear future for myself. I'm going to become a scientist. Through Merit, I have now developed a vision for my career and how I can improve health and environmental outcomes while stimulating my curious intellectual curiosity. This new love for research has become a key part of my college search as I evaluate schools not only for their learning environments, but their research opportunities. I believe that the world needs more female scientists of color. I know that the journey ahead will not be easy, but I will persevere and lean on my Merit family as I work to obtaining my PhD. There will be long nights in labs, big group presentations, and a lot more mistakes along the way. But if you ask me today if I'm ready, I can say with complete confidence, yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you for that inspiring speech, Amaya. Over the last 5 years, Johns Hopkins Medicine has supported all aspects of Merit's programming, from providing beautiful classrooms for Saturday sessions, to research labs for summer internships, to office space for our staff. Specifically, we'd like to thank Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center, the School of Medicine, the Center for Innovative Medicine, the Department of Medicine Diversity Council, and the Brancati Center for the Advancement of Community Care for their ongoing support. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing Merit's Executive Director, Stephanie Landicho. Ms. Landicho moved to Baltimore to join in the Merit team 2.5 years ago after finishing a specialized master's in education at Harvard, focusing on supporting underrepresented students in STEM. Ms. Landicho is known amongst the Merit Scholars for her love of SAT and commitment to push each of us to our fullest potential. Please join me in welcoming Merit's Executive Director, Stephanie Landicho.
Thank you for your kind introduction, Shatera. I indeed love the SAT. Merit Scholars, families, supporters, and guests, thank you for spending your time and your Thursday night at Merit's 7th Annual Research Symposium. In 2011, the first 8 Merit Scholars proudly presented their research projects at the first ever Merit Symposium. This pioneering group met monthly, not weekly, in a school library to discuss broad healthcare careers, and thanks to a leap of faith from the Johns Hopkins Bayview leadership team, got to shadow one doctor over the summer. Fast forward to today. We now have 63 Merit juniors and seniors who just presented their summer research projects tonight. Can we please give them a big round of applause? For those of you that have been there with us throughout the journey, you've seen that the Merit program has indeed grown and evolved a lot since 2011. Once-a-month meetings in the library have evolved into weekly Saturday sessions, which all take place in this state-of-the-art medical school building. Lesson topics that were once just basic discussions about healthcare careers have become rigorous science content, ranging from college-level anatomy and physiology to coding and technology in the healthcare field. Our summer program now allows each junior to shadow 20 healthcare professionals throughout the summer, and each senior to work 5 weeks in a lab. The first Merit class visited just a handful of local colleges, but last year, our scholars took their first multi-state college tour from Baltimore to Atlanta and visited over 12 schools out of state, including Spelman, Morehouse, Wake Forest, and Duke. And for the first time this year, Merit has partnered with 3 middle schools to provide after-school science, math, and mentoring to 7th and 8th graders. With this, we plan to create a pipeline for students from middle school, high school, and college into our city's operating rooms, clinics, and labs. Now, some people ask us, is it really worth it to invest so much into small cohorts of students? The amazing scholar successes that I have seen this year have deepened my conviction that the answer is yes. This year, I saw our graduating senior class of 13 scholars earn a total of $3.2 million in scholarship. Doing the math, that tells us that the average amount of scholarship per scholar is $250,000. This year, I saw Julius become the first Merit Scholar to be accepted to an Ivy League institution. Just a few weeks ago, he began his freshman year at Brown University on a full-ride scholarship through the prestigious Questbridge program. This year, Jessica and Rachel, who's somewhere else in the audience as well, were the first 2 Merit Scholars ever accepted to Johns Hopkins University, both on full-ride scholarships. And Cody, Yarny, and Letitia were the first 3 scholars accepted to direct BSN programs. This means that they will graduate in 4 years as nurses ready to work in Baltimore. This year, I also saw our current senior class take on highly impactful leadership roles in the city. Mercedes, the co-founder of Baltimore Beyond Plastic, received international recognition for her environmental advocacy work. Jamie rose to be first in her class and was awarded the $40,000 Henrietta Lacks Memorial Scholarship for her leadership and academic excellence. Shatera founded a chapter of Intercambio, a student-led cultural exchange program that teaches English to Spanish-speaking adults. And what is so special is that these scholars and so many more did not wait to to finish their college or professional degree to make a difference, they began making an impact now. Junior class, your achievement list is just on the horizon, trust me. We see the work that you put into your weekly Saturday sessions and summer internships and know deep in our hearts that it will pay off. We saw the days this summer that you spent 5 to 6 hours of homework a night. We saw the days you woke up at 5 a.m. to shadow surgeries. And we see the days now that you commit each Saturday to SAT prep with us rather than sleeping in or hanging out with friends. We see your drive. Yes. To all you scholars, we see your drive. We see your passion, and yes, we see your hustle, and we commend you for it. The few examples I listed are just some of the amazing things that all of the Merit Scholars are accomplishing. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are the ones truly in the presence of greatness. Greatness in the form of 63 passionate young people with the ability to change the world. Scholars, I know I speak not only for the Merit team, but for the Baltimore community at large when I say we see your hard work and sacrifice. You are sacrificing today for success tomorrow. We are all honored to know you and cannot wait to see you at the finish line. So thank you, scholars. Your relentless work ethic, perseverance through adversity, continues to give all of us hope during a time that we frankly all need it the most. You give us hope in the next generation of innovative change and a hope that one day Baltimore will be a healthier and more equitable city for all. It is now my great pride and joy to introduce our first Alumni Symposium speaker, but not an unfamiliar face, Miss Jessica Cooley. Jessica graduated from the Baltimore Leadership School for Young Women this year as her class valedictorian and was also the Merit SJ president during her time with us. She's spoken at several large-scale events and has done what Senator Ferguson has reminded us is not for the faint of heart. She has opened up for Elijah Cummings. During her senior year, she received $760,000 in college scholarship, including 4 full rides and 1 to her dream school, Johns Hopkins University. Please join me in welcoming Jessica Cooley back to her podium.
Everybody hear me? I feel so old. But good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Cooley, and this evening I'm speaking to you as a Merit alumni and freshman college student at Johns Hopkins University. When I walked into Armstrong tonight, I felt like I was coming back home. Merit has always been a second family to me, and like Amaya and Claudia described, everyone in Merit pushes you to reach your goals and dreams. As a sophomore high school student joining Merit, I simply hoped that I would get into college. However, throughout the next 2.5 years in the Merit program, the bar that I set for myself grew each year. Fast forward to my senior year of high school, the hopeful girl who walked into Armstrong for the first time in 2014 was now her senior class valedictorian, 2-term Merit SGA president, accomplished research intern, and experienced guest speaker alongside leaders like Congressman Elijah Cummings. After spending countless hours refining my personal statement with Merit mentors and evaluating potential colleges with Merit staff, I now didn't want just any school. I wanted a school with world-renowned research programs. opportunities for engaging in community-based work, and rigorous academics that would push me to my highest potential. Acceptance letters began to roll in, but I anxiously awaited a decision from my top choice school. I will never forget the day I heard back. It was a Tuesday evening, and I sat in my living room wondering if all of my hard work was enough. With nervousness, anxiety, and cautious excitement, I clicked the acceptance notification button on the Johns Hopkins website. As my mom and little sister sat eagerly behind me, each with one hand on my shoulder. A congratulations displayed across the screen in big, bold letters. I was accepted with a full-ride scholarship to my dream school, Johns Hopkins. I jumped off the couch and sprinted around the room screaming, with tears of joy streaming down my face. This moment validated my hard work. While in Merit, I worked to maintain straight A's in school. I began studying for my SAT very early, and took all my Merit SAT classes seriously. Even when my score seemed stagnant, I never gave up on studying, and was able to boost my score over 200 points. After completing my Merit research internship in the lab of Dr. Kenneth Pienta, I volunteered to keep doing lab work with my mentor, Dr. Jelani Zarif. During the school year, I sacrificed most of my free time towards school, extracurriculars, and Merit, but it was all worth it in the end. As I started classes over the last few weeks, I began to recognize Hopkins isn't just a dream college. It's my college. I am a Blue Jay. I also realized that the hard work isn't over. College science is tough, but I'm grateful that the Hopkins lecture halls won't be the first place I learned this material. My research internships gave me a deep love for the molecular underpinnings of biology and helped me to get ahead in terms of background science knowledge. My clinical internships introduced me to the many fields I can aspire towards as a pre-med student at Hopkins. The road ahead won't be easy, but I also know that I will not have to walk it alone. I'll have the support of my Merit family, Viba, my mentor, who continues to check in on me, Ms. Landicho and Mr. Weinfeld, who always have my back, and the other scholars who walk with me side by side as they start their undergrad journeys across the country. Through the next 4 years of college, my Merit family will be cheering me on and picking me up as I pursue my dream of attending medical school 4 years from now. As I take steps forward, I will also begin to pay it forward to my younger Merit scholars who aspire towards the dreams I once thought were impossible. I will mentor, volunteer, and support you all in any way that I can. I encourage everyone in this room to do the same. Be a preceptor, host a scholar, or make a donation. I hear any donation of $20 or more today comes with a Merit t-shirt. Each of us has a role to play in achieving a healthy and equitable Baltimore. So let's do it. Together, we can change the face of healthcare.
Let's give it up one more time for Jessica Cooley. Jessica, you're an inspiration to all of us Merit Scholars. On behalf of the entire Merit family, we thank you for spending your Thursday with us.